Hello everybody, Elise and Dan here. In today's Deep Life episode, we're going to talk about how to begin a fitness and health journey because it can be very overwhelming, especially if you're not used to having this type of lifestyle. And it can be a little daunting and challenging, but we're here to give you a couple tips on how to tackle it.
Yeah, I would say starting right out of the gate, I would advise hiring a coach. Like if you don't know what you're doing, hire somebody who does, because the last thing that we would want for you is for you to get excited, maybe watch some of these videos or something on Instagram, get excited, like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna lose weight now, I'm gonna get in shape, and then hurt yourself or set yourself up for failure because you're doing it wrong. That said, I don't want to scare you away. It's not that dangerous. It's just you're gonna get better results if you have a plan, if you know what you're doing.
If you're held accountable, if you know where to ask for help, like it's just basically setting yourself up for that additional support that you probably will need at the beginning.
Yeah, and something I think that's also really important to think about is that, like, if it took you 30 or 40 years to get to the point you're at, and weight loss is a really good, easy example. I think most people who decide they want to work out, it's because they want to lose weight or they want to get in shape. If it took you 30 or 40 years to put the weight on, don't expect like a 30-day fix or whatever get in shape fast program to offset that. It's gonna be a long process. Embrace the process, embrace sort of that path, because it's honestly, and it might sound cheesy, it's gonna be more rewarding to be on the path, putting in the work, than whatever you think the end goal is.
Yeah, and I think that I was that quick fix way because I thought so much about how I looked as validation for being liked, and it stems obviously from my eating disorder and being just really insecure with myself. And I've talked about this before, but anyone who's newly listening to these videos and watching them, I did Beachbody programs at first. This was before Dan got his personal training certification. But mind you, he was still in like the fitness industry. He worked out every day. He looked fabulous. All these things. And I did the Beachbody. I'm not going to say the one that I did, but I think it was 60 days. And I lost a bunch of weight. I gained so much definition in my muscles. I was following the guidelines for food that they did like to a T. And as soon as it was over, I didn't know what to do. And I repeated the program for a second time immediately after and saw zero results. And if anything, I gained a lot of the weight back because I was incorporating more food than I wanted to eat into my diet. But what they don't tell you to do, or they don't give you a plan after the 60 days, they just want you to buy an additional program from them that has more, restrictions on eating and stuff. And I reverted back, and I was so upset with myself. It reverted back to my eating disorder. I mean, it was just awful. It was so awful. And that cycle continued for a few years. I did not understand the importance of getting into a healthy enough routine and paying attention to the foods that I was eating and the way that I was moving my body. It was a never ending cycle. So I have been there and I've made the mistake. And I don't want anyone else to make that mistake. That's specifically why we do what we do. And I'm not saying that Beachbody isn't a great jumping off point to get into a routine. A lot of the exercises that they do are very minimal. It's pretty easy to follow along. You're not gonna really hurt yourself. It's just that it stops. And they do not offer the guidance and support going forward.
Yeah, so something to think about, like you're saying, there's this long road, there's this sort of like lifestyle basically and progression. If what you're doing isn't sustainable beyond 25 days, 30 days,
yeah, exactly,
then it's not going to help in the way you think it is.
Yeah, and let's explain that a little bit because people probably might not understand. So when I repeated the program for the second time, now I was in going my like third and fourth month, my body had already done all the movements that it did to change and get toned. So it's not gonna change more because I wasn't accelerating, I wasn't progressing. It was like a steady line.
Yeah, so there's not a built-in progression beyond the 30 days. So just repeating that same cycle,
it did nothing.
Isn't going to work in the same way that another harder program would work better. And the same goes for the diet, where you're on this very restrictive, low-calorie diet. That's not sustainable for the rest of your life.
No.
So those can help people at different times, but know that you need to be able to come out of that in a healthy manner and progress. So there's just eating healthy, focusing on eating real good quality food is going to be so much more beneficial than starving yourself for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Or following what was in those Beachbody things, because they had kashi cereal and certain types of packaged foods, which are all paid. They're paid to advertise them in there. It's awful. I would never recommend eating cereal to anyone. You should not be eating cereal. I would never do that. Same thing goes for any other of those companies that have, built-in points or systems or sins or whatever they're called. It's a very restrictive mindset, and you're gonna get many more benefits from eating whole quality food and switching and substituting things that are real and natural. It's much easier to do that than cut back on calories, counting your food, counting your macros. That makes your head spin. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. So it is a process, but embrace it. It's so beneficial, it's so rewarding. And once you get into that routine, it's something that's gonna liven you up, and you're gonna, like Dan said, you're gonna enjoy the journey. I've enjoyed it so much. I love it. I've made it my life. This is what we do. It's so empowering. So start small, like Dan said. Really do hire a coach and get someone. It's very difficult to do it without support.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, it's really hard to just make it up. So hiring somebody who knows what they're doing and can help you kind of progress over time and do it at a pace that is sustainable and that works for you. Be consistent. We talk about consistency all the time. So it's like, start small, do a little bit, but do a little bit every day. Don't go overboard. You're not going to offset 30 years of bad habits in 1 week or 1 month. So just know you're going to do things a little bit differently. Do it consistently. Commit to it.
And the results will come.
Yeah, the result will come. The aesthetics always come. Focus on movement quality, doing things right so that you don't hurt yourself. And then the other things are going to come. So you don't need to just beat your body into the ground. Take care of your body, respect your body, move your body the way it's meant to be moved, and the form follows function. Your body's going to look like a capable body that can do things when it is a capable body that can do things.
Exactly. So start small. The journey is a beautiful one. Embrace it.
Yeah, and we're here to help if you need that help.